All right, guys, we're back with another episode here. Very important episode for all of you guys. Um, so I decided to record this because I did a live on Saturday. I was going to do a live podcast, and I actually have that recording, but I wanted to save it. So I wanted to try to do this without interruptions of questions and without acknowledging people in the chat room. But it is what it is. It's easier when you have a moderator. So thank you again. This is the 90th Soccer Cards podcast. I'm Paulo, your host. This is the only one of one soccer podcast, soccer cards podcast in the world. I appreciate everybody that has come through. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Special One Cards, special spelled out ONE cards. So follow me on Instagram there. Also, if you could subscribe, like, share, review this podcast, that would be great. It helps me with the algorithm. Hopefully, someday I can make money off of these podcasts that I'm putting out. I'm always trying to figure out a way to make some money given the time and the research I'm doing. And that's not a knock on any of you guys. I know I have plenty of people that said, I'll support you whatever way possible. So I appreciate many of you for that. So today's episode, a few different things. We're going to talk about the stuff that I talked about on Saturday. I think it's important to start to kind of look at that. I'm not going to post anything on Instagram yet, quite yet, until maybe later on this week I'll post something. But as of now, I will not post anything on Instagram to give people that, to give you guys some of the added edge that you need. I know some of you couldn't join on Saturday night. I know it was kind of a tough one to join given the time frame. And then, yeah, so we'll go over that data and show you why I think there's an opportunity there. And then here's the other part. The other part of this is that I am not a financial advisor. I'm going off of what I see in the marketplace based on feedback, based on the numbers, based on the data supplied through PSA, based on the data through Card Ladder, based on my own calculations of what I see the market doing, etc. So don't take everything I say with a grain of salt. Do your own research too. It's important to do that. You should do your own research regardless. But I do think there's a heavy opportunity right now with these particular cards that I'm going to refer to in a little bit. First thing I want to start off with, though, is the news that PSA is opening a place in Germany. And for many of you in the US, I might say, well, this doesn't really matter to me because it's in Europe. I don't care. Well, this is very big news, obviously. It helps grow the hobby in Europe. It makes cards a little more liquid, right? There's more cards graded out there. There's more stuff out there. Opens up the markets a little bit more to try to help that European market get going. So it's a big, big undertaking. And I believe it's going to be opening in Frankfurt, Germany. So that's a huge thing for the European Union countries where a lot of collectors had talked about not being able to grade cards as quickly as they could due to sending it over here, the tariffs, etc. So now we really don't have that kind of hamstringing them or holding them back from doing that. So it's a big, big, big news from PSA to have that office in Germany open to help our hobby grow substantially. Again, the sticker market is still very strong in Europe. The card market is growing. It needs to grow quicker. And I think this all but does help it quite a bit. The other thing is you have to think about kind of the effect it's going to have on the market. You may have, um, again, I don't think a lot of people are getting grading base cards anyways, but you'll see different avenues open with, different marketplaces. You have Fanatics Collect, you have eBay, right? Kind of the biggest one there. Mercari is one that people use once in a while. I haven't really used. I bought some stuff on there recently. Sometimes you can find deals on there, so check that website out too, and whatnot, etc. So, and now you have Probstein's actually they're leaving eBay, so they did I think $1 billion in sales for over 20 years. They're moving. He's starting his own marketplace, so it's another marketplace going to be called Snipe. Which I'm not sure how many marketplaces we need. It makes it really difficult. You also have My Card Post, which is a really interesting model to use. Shout out to Mark Hill there. That's a $9 subscription service. You post on there for $9 a month, and there's some other tiers that you can register for. But you can sell as many cards as you want, and there's no commissions taken off of the card sales that are done on that site. So that's an interesting model as well. I know with Snipe, I think I heard anything under $1,000 are going to give you 95% of the sales. So they're really trying to attract new sellers onto that platform. The biggest problem I see obviously is eBay is the biggest one out there, and you're kind of paying a premium, right? You get the most eyes on it, or if you have a high kind of high-end card, you're probably using Fanatics Collect or even Golden. Although I've heard some people have had really good luck on Fanatics Collect with that auction, so I haven't tried that in a while. I'm kind of interested to see how that's going over there. There are some cards that pop up there. I'm just kind of wondering what their traffic looks like, and I just don't. I wish some of these guys would put up more information on their traffic numbers because I think it would help us. Maybe it's something I can kind of dive into and look at for that. Also, coming up, Card Ladder. I'm going to become an affiliate with Card Ladder. I just got to finish off the paperwork, get that over to them. So I'll have a promo code for anybody interested in using Card Ladder. I think it's a really beneficial tool to use. I use it here quite a bit on the podcast for you guys to look at numbers and data of cards and things of that nature. But it incorporates the PSA pop counts in there as well as the other grading companies. So it's a really unique tool, kind of an all-in-one area kind of shop for to get your research in and done. And you can even upload your own collection on there and kind of show it off. It's a showcase type of thing. So I will be having that soon. Soon I will be posting that on my Instagram, where if you sign up, it helps me obviously. So hopefully you guys can hold on for another day or two till I get that finalized. So that's the big thing. Again, if you're not following me on Instagram, please do at Special One Cards. I encourage you to message me with debate. I encourage you to message me with enthusiasm. I encourage you to continue to support me. Many of you have messaged me and kind of told me that I'm the only one doing this in this space, informing people correctly, providing efficient information on a timely basis. So that's huge for me, obviously. I kind of started to call myself the one of one soccer card podcast in the world. I'm not the greatest, I'm not the best, but I am the one of one soccer cards podcast. So, all right, now what we're going to get into. So, last week I posted regarding 2020 2021 Panini Mosaic products and why they were important. Some of you got into my DMs on Instagram and basically made some assumptions or guessed on what they were. Some of you were right, some of you were wrong. The ones that are right, you obviously kind of understand the patterns I'm talking about and you understand where we're going. Patterns are important in the sports cards hobby. Patterns often repeat themselves. All right. So I am looking for another pattern here that will benefit you, me, and everybody else. Again, I am not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice, but full transparency, I did buy one of these cards recently, which got me down the rabbit hole to do the research on it. So here's where we're going to start. We're going to start with this. We're going to start looking at, and I'm going to share my screen very shortly. We're going to look at Kabooms. So we're going to primarily look at first year Kabooms, 2017, 2018 year of Kabooms, because I think those are important to kind of, so you guys understand. And don't mind the stained glass. So the kind of cat's out of the bag there. You can see what it is. Kaboom versus stained glass. And 2017 Kaboom. So I took a few players: Ronaldo, Messi, Kevin De Bruyne, Antoine Griezmann, Luka Modric, and then I took the 2018 Kylian Mbappe card out of Kaboom as well. Now, what's interesting about the 2018 Kylian Mbappe Kaboom is you could not pack pull that. The only way to get that was through Panini Rewards points through a special insert pack that you received. I think it was 2 cards per pack. There were gold and greens in those as well. I think it was the first time they had used parallels for the Kabooms. Looking at Ronaldo Messi primarily here, you look at those numbers here, you see the total population of Ronaldo Kabooms is 85 with 14 PSA 10s, 48 PSA 9s with a gem rate of 16%. And then you have the Messis, there's 100 of those, 44 PSA 10s, 45 PSA 9s. And then you have the other players. Mbappe is one of note, kind of a lot higher population than most, 159 total pop, 52 PSA 10s, 75 PSA 9s. Stained glass. This is where I'm going. So stained glass released in 2020, 2021 Panini Mosaic products. That included Serie A, La Liga, and also the Euros. 3 products, 3 different stained glasses. There was only one player that got 2 stained glasses. So Ronaldo had one in Serie A, which for many people it's a more desirable one. I actually think the Portugal one's the more desirable one. And he had one for Portugal in the Euros product. And the players in the stained glass, you'll see here, Ronaldo, Messi had a La Liga one, Kevin De Bruyne, Antoine Griezmann, Luka Modric, and Kylian Mbappe as well. So there's a stained glass, and I've denoted each one by what they are. So stained glass Serie A Cristiano Ronaldo, total population on this is 6. There's only 6 of those. 3 PSA 10s, 2 PSA 9s, gem rate's 50%. You'll notice the gem rate on these is a lot higher than the Kabooms, which is fine. Stained glass Euro Ronaldo, there's 43 total pop, 23 PSA 10s, 14 PSA 9s. The Messi stained glass La Liga, there's only 7 in the total pop, and there's only 3 PSA 10s, and you'll see the other guys there. Kylian Mbappe at the bottom of the list there. He's got 25 total pop, 12 PSA 10s, and 3 PSA 9s. So really low numbers. Now, when I look at both, right? When we look at both here, here's a screenshot here for you guys to look at. What I did, if you look at this screen here, you'll see total population of Kabooms, 838. Stained glass across all 3 products is 480. You'll see that on the end there, right? PSA 10s, 178 PSA 10s in Kabooms, 276 in the stained glass mosaic. So there's 276 PSA 10s, so but 100 more or so, give or take, versus the Kabooms. The gem rate on Kabooms is 21.24%, and the gem rate on the mosaic is 57.5%. I broke out the mosaic by 3 different categories, right? You had mosaic Serie A, mosaic La Liga, mosaic Euros, which each had their own stained glass in there. And the players identified are the guys that I just showed you before. So what can we say about this? Is a few things here. You look at the total population, you're talking, it's almost double. The Kabooms are almost double the total population of the stained glass of the 3 mosaic products, which is kind of unique. If you individualize and compartmentalize each mosaic product, you'll see that there's very limited numbers. 41 total out of the mosaic Euros. The other ones, 84 out of La Liga, 55 out of Serie A. Now, here's the thing. The pop counts are so much lower. And you look at these here, right? You versus the Kabooms, you kind of have to wonder, well, what's going on here? And we're going to go back to the sheet here. Sorry to hop around, but the Kabooms are right here, 838, 480 total mosaic. But if you break it down by Serie A, La Liga, mosaic, Euro, you'll see the difference. Yes, the Kabooms are 3 products of 3 calendar years before the mosaic. So that's kind of a factor, right? That's number 1. Number 2, you can kind of make the assumption here, especially when we talk about Ronaldo and Messi. Ronaldo and Messi have about 185 Kabooms total population. And in stained glass, if we include the Ronaldos from the Euro and Serie A and the Messis, you're looking at about 56. So a significant number that is almost, 3/4 less than the Kabooms. You're probably asking me, well, why are you talking about this? So you look at these sell dates here on the side there, and I don't want to focus too much on that, but a Messi stained glass La Liga PSA 10 last sold for $5,280 this past month in September. Significant sale there. And I'm going to go to my screen section. I bought, full transparency, I bought the Kylian Mbappe recently, a raw. I bought a raw. I think I paid $164, $150. Can't even remember. I bought it early last week because I think it's an important card. And here's what I'm going to tell you why. I told you guys the Kaboom Kylian Mbappe was not pack pulled. And we know how hobby does not like non-pack pulled cards. However, the Mbappe is an exception. It's a first-year Kaboom. It's a very big exception, right? Kylian Mbappe total population as stained glass is 25, all right? You look at his Kabooms, you got about 159, so significantly more. Here's the other thing. The Kylian Mbappe, and I'm pretty sure this is correct what I'm going to say, the Kylian Mbappe stained glass is actually the first ever case hit Kylian Mbappe that you can pull out of a hobby box. First ever. That is significant, very significant. And I don't think the hobby thinks that much the way I'm thinking here, but that's important. So why do I see this as an opportunity? I'm going to tell you why. You look at the costs on these last sales, I think they're undervalued quite a bit. What I did a few things here. So I created what we call, well, I didn't create that. That's something I created. I didn't create, but I took the formula and used it. In economics term, there's a term called scarcity adjusted value. What scarcity adjusted value is, it's basically, it refers to an item's increased price or importance due to its limited availability driven by a gap between high demand and low supply. Hear me out there again. See if you understand what I just said. It refers to an item's increased price or its importance due to its limited availability. So we talk about stained glass, very limited as compared to Kaboom. Now, this only works when you compare 2 kind of cards, all right? We're comparing Kaboom to stained glass here, all right? So that first one there, I took the Serie A Ronaldo. Total population of the Kabooms is 85. Card ladder value in a PSA 10 is 13,127. The stained glass, there's only 6, all right? So that's a 92% difference in supply versus the Kaboom. The Kaboom has 92% more cards than the stained glass has. Card ladder value is that PSA 10 stained glass in the Juve kit at $1,547. The price discrimination or differential pricing is about 11,500. The multiplier is 8.49. So what does that mean? That means you have to buy almost 8.5, almost 9 stained glasses to buy one Kaboom. All right, or sell 9 stained glasses to buy one Kaboom. When I factor in the scarcity adjusted value of the stained glass value is 21,916 based on the scarcity. Now, am I saying that the stained glass is worth 21K? Absolutely not. We know the Kabooms have a higher demand, but what I'm saying is this stained glass is not $1,547 card. I believe this card is probably a $5,000 to $8,000 card, the Serie A one. Okay. Now you can make the argument on the Euro one. There's a larger population on that, so maybe it's a little bit less, right? That card is probably 3 to 7K, I think. All right. I use this as a benchmark. So how did I calculate that? I took the the card ladder value of the Kaboom, right? I divided that by, let me go here. I divided by the multiplier, right? Times the populations on the Kaboom and stained glass. And you can see the formula right there. It's right up here. You guys can see it right there. And that's how I came to that value. All right. I'm not saying by any means that the stained glass is worth 21,000, but based on the scarcity adjusted value, the stained glass is worth 21K. Is someone going to pay 21K for that card? Probably not. Do I think that card's worth, like I said, 5 to 8K? Yes. There's no way that a stained glass is significantly a lot lower than a Kaboom here. And I get it. It's a Ronaldo Serie A, but it's a very limited card. I don't think it's 21K, but it's a benchmark for you to use. Now, if you look at Messi, the next one, Messi's Kaboom is 100 total population. Card ladder values it at $33,000 a PSA 10. There's 7 stained glasses in PSA 10, which is the La Liga edition one. Card ladder values it at 6,552, which is a multiplier of about 5.18. The differential pricing or the price discrimination on it is 27,375. Based on the scarcity adjusted value, that stained glass is $93,600. Again, I don't think the card's worth 93K. However, you never know what could happen down the road. All right. I think it's safe to say that that stained glass of Messi that recently sold, somebody got a good deal on it. I think that card's probably worth, I would say, 15 to 20K. I would say it's anywhere from 40 to 55% of the value of the Kaboom. I really believe that. First year stained glass, again, patterns. First year stained glass, first ever issued type of situation. Now we get to Mbappe. The next one, Mbappe. All right. Mbappe's got 159 Kabooms. Card ladder values of PSA 10s at 8,055. The stained glass has 25 total population, a little higher than the other guys, although I did not put the Ronaldo Euro stuff in there. But it's got a $440 value on card ladder and a PSA 10. That multiplier is 18.31. Crazy. That means, for those that don't know math, you have to buy 18 PSA 10 stained glasses to buy one Kaboom of Mbappe. Does that seem off to you guys? I think so. So based on the scarcity adjusted value of the stained glass should be valued about $2,798. And this one I can understand totally. That value is probably correct. All right. I just bought one of these because I really feel that this card is significant. It's a first year stained glass for Mbappe. It's a first pack pulled case hit for Mbappe. Really significant. This scarcity adjusted value seems more in line with my thinking here. I do believe this card is significantly worth about 3K. I would probably say $300 to $4,500. Okay. So if you listen to me on Saturday, you probably went out and bought some because you believe in this argument. Now, the other thing is here's the other argument. Do you really not understand if people had Messi or Ronaldo stained glasses, they would have graded those by now? They really would have. It'll be interesting to see in the next month or two how many more are graded. I'm going to track that to follow up on the scarcity adjusted value of that. If they do catch up the Kabooms, obviously in terms of grading and total pop counts, then obviously this argument is kind of done and not correct. But the Mbappe is an interesting one because it is his first case hit for a case hit insert. So, and I know a few of you guys messaged me and you guys bought the Mbappes because you saw my live on Saturday and you understood my argument. Okay. This is my argument. Now, you can debate it all you want if you want to. You can kind of come at me and tell me I'm wrong, but there's a lot of validity here in terms of the calculation that I did. The Messi, of course, people can say there's no way that card's worth 93K. No, it's not. This is just based on a scarcity adjusted value. It's a benchmark for us to use. So, if you're telling me the Kaboom Messi PSA 10 is worth 33K and the stained glass is only 6.5K, I can't believe that for a second. That Messi stained glass has got to be worth about 15K. 15 to 20K, no doubt about it. And the Mbappe, like I said, I think that adjusted value there, the scarcity adjusted value at $2,798 is valid. All right. So let's look at card ladder as I'm curious just to see if anything. I think some did sell, obviously, because I think people that were on the live the other day, they saw. I'm going to just type in 2021 soccer stained glass. And if anybody is interested in getting this formula, just send me an email. I'll be happy to send you guys that formula and how it was calculated so you guys can understand it more. Sometimes people need to see it to do it and understand what they're doing, right? In terms of the actual calculation. So you guys see the spreadsheet there. I'm going to jump off the spreadsheet very shortly. Again, let's go back here again really quick. Review total population 838 Kabooms, 55 Mosaic for this is stained glass, right? Across the three products, 55 in Serie A, 84 La Liga, 341 in the Euros, obviously. So total of 480. So basically about half the amount of Kabooms. Okay. So I think there is a significant opportunity here for those that want to take advantage of it. It's up to you. I think the Mbappe is a really good gamble. I think if you're buying that under $300, I think you're doing really well in terms of raw. And if a PSA 10's out there for 440, I would buy that. I don't see that card going down. I see it only going up. I'm a big guy on Mbappe right now. I've been buying some stuff. I bought a red, white, blue color wave 18 prism of his recently. I bought the stained glass recently. I bought his gold rookie out of raw, taking a chance on that one. Sticker because hopefully I want to see if it grades well. Here we are. All right, we're gonna look at some of these sales of stained glass in the last few days because some people may have listened. Well, actually, not really. People don't really listen that much, or they're labeled wrong. So there was one sold on the 3rd, which I know the follower that bought that for $188.98. You'll see those some of the highest prices ever sold on these. Let's sort them by price. You'll see a Messi back in May of 2021, silver 2000, a Messi silver 898. I wish I got it at that price in 2024. Some really good deals. I'm going to get rid of the year, and I'm only going to do stained glass soccer, just see what pops up. You have these here, the La Ligas from last year, which I think those are ugly. To me, they're ugly. But it's just, I'm going to only look for 2021. So here you go. Here's, let's sort this by date though. Sort it by date. And I hope this helps you guys. Here's a Kubarsi. Here's an Mbappe right here. 188 sold October 3rd. So maybe people didn't take advantage yet. So there's still stuff out there. So if you're listening to the podcast, I would go look for stuff. I think the biggest opportunity, again, like I said, lies in the Mbappe card, the Mbappe stained glass, the first pack pulled case hit that you can get out of a hobby box. I think it's there. Ronaldo, I believe the Ronaldo sold recently. I should look that up actually right here while I got you guys on. I think it sold that night, and I think somebody got a really good deal because it was best offer. And again, like I said, I think that card is worth significantly more than than what was October 4th. Somebody paid $2,100 for that card. Wow. Somebody got a really good deal, I think. I think it was best offer was $2,300. This is the one in the Juve kit right here. You'll see it. Let me pop it up on the screen so you can see it. Beautiful card. Really card. I'll admit, when these first came out, I wasn't in love with them, but now I love them even more. I think they're beautiful cards. And they really pop really nicely. So that's a really nice Ronaldo somebody got. Whoever got that, congratulations to you. You got a really good deal, I think. And for me, I don't think these cards are kind of the type of thing you flip in like a day or a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or any of that. I think it's the type of card. Here's a US the Portugal one right here. You guys can look at it. There's the Portugal one. Sold back on June 4th for 776. Maybe somebody knew what I was talking about. And card ladder values at 776. They bought it for 305 on June 4th earlier this year. So that card nearly doubled in value. Obviously, big numbers there. The Mbappe, I'm going to show you a picture of the Mbappe. I can't wait for that card to arrive. I don't think it's arrived yet. I got to check my mail today. I haven't checked it yet. But I think these are significant for those reasons. Again, the pop counts on the Messi and the Ronaldos are very low. Even the Mbappe, 25. I mean, there's the Mbappe card. You can see it there. Let me see if I can find a better picture. Here's a better picture, 188.98. There it is. These cards are beautiful cards. Obviously, the Euros had more of them. The ones in the Serie A and La Liga are very limited. Again, like I was saying, here's a PSA 10 that sold. Somebody stole this one. Just sold actually on the 2nd. They probably understand what I was getting at, and they understood. So they bought it for 440. That card again, like I was saying, I think these are significant for the reasons I've stated. They are CASIC cards, very low pop cards. I think there's a clear opportunity here, and I think if you haven't taken advantage yet, do it now. I'm not going to post anything on my Instagram probably for a few days regarding this. I'm curious to see what happens, to see if any of you guys actually go out there and take a shot on this. You can find some Mbappe's for under 220 on eBay. Check out ComC, check out some of the other sites. The big players are always going to do well. Mbappe, Ronaldo, Messi, find those guys. Again, the Ronaldos and the Messi, I think, are very undervalued based on my calculator and the calculation I came up with. All right, guys, I want to do a quick episode. I didn't want to post the actual recording. I may actually still post that because I think there might be some stuff in there that I may have missed that I covered today. But I think this stuff is important for you guys to kind of learn and find out what's going on, because it's all about identifying new trends or new things that could pop off. And I think this is one of them. Again, I said this, I bought this Mbappe not with the intention of flipping it in 3 months or 4 months or even a year. I think this is a long-term hold for me. As you watch these pop counts, they kind of these are starting to approach 5 years old, so they're getting older, so they're less and less out in the wild, or they're not being pulled, or they're not being broken, or whatever the case may be. So as they get older, the grading becomes a lot more difficult as the cards kind of get that wear and tear, even if they're protected in other means, top loaders, whatever, mag holders. I just think there's a clear opportunity here, and I think many of you probably should take advantage. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just advising. So let me know what you guys think in my comments on Spotify, YouTube, Apple. Put comments in all those things. I wanted to know what you guys think. I don't want them on Instagram yet. I will post later on this week when I get the Mbappe in, where I can post and show it off and talk about it a little bit more. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. I hope you guys have a great week. This is the first podcast of this week. This is Monday. Hopefully, we'll have another one on Wednesday, maybe one on Friday too. Maybe we'll do 3 this week. Who knows? Supposed to have a few guests this week lined up. That's the goals. Northern Soccer Card Expo, less than a month away. It's about a month away. Trying to get those guys on this week to hear from them, to help them promote the show. Hopefully, I'm going. I think as of now, I'm going, but we'll see. But yeah, let me know, guys. Send me a DM if you guys are looking at these. If you guys think my logic is correct here, the way I'm thinking. Again, I understand that stained glasses don't have the same demand that a Kaboom does, but I think there's a clear disparity in value here. Even at 50% of a Kaboom, I think that's reasonable. All right. Give me a follow on Instagram at Special One Cards. Make sure you guys, again, like, subscribe, review the podcast. It really helps me out trying to get found more in the algorithm. And I understand some of you have actually told me you don't want me to be found because you like the information I'm spewing out, because it gives you guys a kind of an edge. So remember, if you're first, you're never late, right? That's my old moniker I used to say, or what I used to say, if you're first, you're never late. Yeah, if you're first, you're never late. That's what I always say. So try to be first with this too, guys. All right. Take care. All right. Hope you guys have a good week.